I'll know who to blame.
Don't go away.
Okay, so this is this fun little survey, and oh crap, I can't remember what it's called, but someone tagged me. Chevy Rel tagged me months ago to do this, like, ask your husband question or ask your significant other questions about yarn and our hobbies, and that's what we're doing. It's sort of like the Newlywed Game,
okay,
with yarn. Except I'm only asking you questions. You're not asking me.
Oh.
Okay, so here we go. These are all questions about yarn, knitting, and the like.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing that I've knit for you?
Socks.
Socks.
The greenish socks.
As opposed to the other pairs of socks brownish. That I've knit you?
The socks, yeah.
I haven't knit him any other socks.
But that was the favorite thing. And the yellow hat, too. I like that, too.
Yeah, that was good. Favorite thing that I've ever knit in general?
For you?
Ever. For anyone.
Boy. Favorite thing you've ever knit? You've knit like 1,000 things.
I know.
I think you're always fond of the sweater, the first sweater you ever knit.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So that's a good one.
That's good. That, for new watchers, listeners, that was the Lush cardigan. I knit that, I think, even before I started podcasting.
That's
the
what
Lush
I meant
cardigan.
To say.
Yes.
The Lush cardigan.
You meant that.
Yeah.
The Lush cardigan by Tin Can Knits, and I knit it out of Malabrigo Arroyo in the natural colorway.
That's the one.
So, yeah. How long have I been knitting?
Well, you started cross-stitching.
I did.
Years and years and years ago. Then you went to quilting.
Look at the kid right there.
What is he doing?
He's trying to listen.
Oh. I would say you've been knitting for, what year is it? 2018.
Yep.
So you've been knitting for probably at least 10 years? Is that right?
No. Less than that.
Oh, that
I know,
seems
right?
like that.
Since 2011.
Oh, but I do know that you cross-stitched copious amounts of cross-stitching and quilting. So
yes.
I do know that.
My one regret is that I was not a knitter when the kids were born.
That's
that
true.
would have been fun to knit, like little
true.
kid stuff. Okay, would you go to a fiber festival with me?
I have.
Yes, you have. I'm asking the questions that I heard other people ask,
okay.
so it's
All right.
some of them may not apply. Does it bother you when I take you to a local yarn store?
It bothers our kids. No, it doesn't bother me. Unless it's after a baseball tournament, I'm hot and sweaty and
I only did
miserable.
that one time.
Yeah, that bothered me.
What is the coolest thing that you have learned from my addiction?
Wow, you admitted it. Or is that just
Again,
the way
this
the
was just
written?
the way that the question was written.
I think just that there's such a market for yarn. I had no idea. Would have never thought.
You and me both.
Well, no, I would have. I would have never thought that there was that many knitters out there.
Have you ever wanted to learn to knit?
Yes.
That's a no.
I don't have the patience to sit and knit. I don't have the patience.
Worst answer ever. Worst. None of us have the patience.
Oh.
We decided we wanted it more than we wanted to be patient.
I see. Okay.
That's the
trade-off.
That's the cop-out answer that we hear from all the people who don't knit. That's every knitter is like, I wish I could do that. I just don't have the time.
I just don't have the time.
Does it bother you when I buy yarn?
Yes. It depends. It depends. Depends on because you know me, I'm functional. So
Yep.
if you buy it because you're going to use it, that's great. But if you buy it and it sits on a shelf for 17 years or however long. Sometimes it doesn't bother me. But
so yes, basically what
does.
that says is yes. What do you think about me podcasting?
It's surprising. I mean, it's good that you podcast. I think it's one. I think you're good at it. It just surprises me.
Why does it surprise you?
Because I never thought you were a podcasty type. But apparently you are. I don't know. I'm impressed with what you've done with everything with the podcast.
All 5,000 subscribers think that I am.
I agree.
Sidebar, Nicholas the other day, we were watching something.
Is this off the record?
No, not even a little bit.
All right.
The tape is still rolling.
Okay.
Nicholas the other day we were watching something on YouTube, and he was like, Mom, how many subscribers do you have on YouTube? And I was like, I don't know. Let's look. And so I went and looked on YouTube, and I had just apparently hit 5,000 and something subscribers. And he was like, Mom, high five. Yeah. That's amazing.
See?
So my 12-year-old thinks I'm amazing.
All of your people.
Which validates me totally. Okay, so do you know the difference in the weights of yarn?
Yes.
Okay. That's all you're going to say. Yes.
That's all the question asked. Yes. I know there's fingering weight.
Yes.
See?
Yes, there is.
And there's other weights. But they didn't ask for that. It just said, do I know the difference?
Yes.
Do.
All I can say is you better know the right answer to this one.
I will.
What is your favorite yarn company or indie dyer?
I
need to not. I'm holding up a pattern on the other side of this. I need to not do that.
There's so many that I love. Probably Suburban Stitcher.
Probably the one that sleeps in your bed at night is your favorite.
Yeah.
Should be.
That's probably it.
How much is do you know how much an average skein of yarn costs?
$24 to $28.
Of indie dyed yarn, probably.
Yes, of indie dyed yarn. Of Michael's dyed yarn or whatever.
Michael's dyed, yeah. In the industry, we call that big box store.
Got it. In the big box store, it's less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I asked you to buy yarn for me, what would you do?
Call Cherie.
Cherie is Kirby Werby Yarns, for those of y'all that don't know her. Everybody in the knitting world knows her afterthought heel videos that everyone has watched, and it's like one of the most famous knitting tutorials, I think. But she is an amazing self-striping dyer and one of my dearest friends. So anyway, she's kind of in and out of dyeing yarn right now, hoping to jump back in soon. How much yarn do you think I buy in a month?
How many skeins?
This, like, personal use, not business. This is not Suburban. This is Diane Brown, not Suburban Stitcher. He's shifting. He's getting very uncomfortable.
Lately, not as many.
Yeah. True story.
At its peak. 20 skeins of yarn a month.
Skeins of yarn a month? Oh, I would easily say that. Yeah.
I can't keep track of the finances. So.
Yes. This is technically a question, but I mean, it's not really a question for me. Can I yarn bomb the house?
I don't know what that means.
Can I knit something and wrap it around our trees in our front yard?
No.
Okay. I don't want to.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that like glitter bombing?
Yes. Kind of.
You know, I hate glitter.
Yes.
Okay.
You would also hate yarn bombing.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, knitting as my hobby, would you consider me obsessed?
Yes.
Interested or dabbling?
Obsessed.
Okay.
Obsessively
I
obsessed.
would agree. Okay, so I am going to list some like abbreviations, and you're going to tell me what they stand for.
Okay. If I get a certain number right, do I win like 10 grand?
No.
Oh, okay.
FO. Finished object.
Got it. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was...
Okay, this next one should be easy. Faux show. Faux show. That's what they call it, like, when you're showing off your finished things. Some people will say it's a faux show.
See? There you go. Faux show. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so this one should be easy. So if FO is finished object, what is UFO?
Unfinished object.
Yes.
Or an unidentified flying object.
Or that, yes. HO. This one's only, like, sometimes used.
A helpful object? I don't know.
Half object.
Okay, I don't know.
So that would be like if you're knitting a pair of socks and you have one of them done, it's like a half finished object. WIP.
Work in progress.
Yes. BFL.
I don't know what BFD means. And I don't know BFL.
This is a family show.
Oh, sorry. Well, I didn't say it. I've heard of that before once.
Wow, babe.
Sorry.
Bringing it down.
We can edit that.
We didn't say that. BFL.
Something with lace. Something lace.
No.
No, I have no idea.
It stands for Blue-Faced Leicester. It's a breed of sheep.
I could have guessed for a century. I would have never come up with that one.
MCN.
Yeah, again, drawing a blank.
Merino Cashmere Nylon. It's a blend of yarn.
I know merino.
Merino
DK.
Cashmere. That's the name of my DK. That's another weight of yarn. DK.
Yeah, see, there it is.
There it is.
Sock yarn.
So MCN, Merino Cashmere Nylon. LYS.
Little yarn sales?
Local yarn store.
Ooh, close. Close.
The next couple stand for events.
Okay.
EYF.
EYF, something yarn for European Yarn Festival?
Close. Edinburgh Yarn Festival.
Yeah.
Close. VKL.
VKL. VKL?
Yes.
I don't know VKL.
Vogue Knitting Live.
Okay. I don't know what that is.
It's another event.
Okay.
There's one in New York every January, and then there's one in like Seattle and a couple of other places. SSK.
SSK.
This has twofold meaning.
SSK, single sock knit.
I mean, that is
Boom.
That is really, like, your brain is thinking really hard. It's totally wrong.
Seattle?
No, it's not an event. It is slip, knit.
Huh. Yeah.
It's a stitch.
Okay.
It's also, SSK is the initials for a retreat we will be going to in 2 weeks. Or actually, when you're seeing this, I may have already been by the time I air this. I don't know. Super Summer Knit Together. It's the thing in Nashville that we're going to, driving through.
Oh, so the whole question of that was the question about when I go to a yarn festival. If I had said no, what would you have done?
I would have brought you anyway.
Okay.
Tink.
I don't know.
Tink is knit, written backwards, K-N-I-T.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like unknitting. It's when you have to unknit it. I'll say, I have to tink back. I have to.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Frog.
I don't know.
It's kind of similar. Unknitting, but it's more like pull your needles out and just start like ripping out the yarn.
So it's gorf backwards?
Yes.
You gorf it?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Gorfing.
So when you're
knitting, you're gorfing, really.
When you ungorf,
you're ungorfing, yes.
Okay, all right. It just goes along with the tink thing.
Okay. If you could have me make you anything, what would it be? Knitted.
Knitted, okay. I was going to say. Anything. I think one of those knit beards.
Okay.
Yeah, you should make that.
Do you want it attached to a hat or a standalone?
That's dealer's choice.
Okay, good to know. Let's see. Do you wear the things I knit you?
The hat, not so much, just because we live in Texas and there's never opportunity to wear a hat.
Not so much.
The socks, occasionally, again, we live in Texas.
In the winter, though, you wear them a lot.
But in the winter, I wear them, yeah.
Another use for knitting needles, This is more of just a...
Well, I'm sure you could put like shrimp and a little steak and stuff on it and grill
skewer,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that I am a product or a process knitter? Does that make sense to you? Kind of.
You are a yes, because I would imagine a product knitter is just someone who knits however just to get it done, and a process knitter is someone who knits a certain way.
Kind of. Like a product knitter is someone who knits because they want to have the finished object. Like I want the sweater, so I'm going to keep knitting until I get this sweater, and then I'm going to start a new thing.
Oh my
goodness,
you're a process knitter
is like I just like knitting. It doesn't matter what it is.
It's an ADD knitter is basically what it is. You are a process knitter.
I'm a process knitter.
Yeah.
High five.
ADD knitter.
Do you think that I need more stash?
No. I think you're probably pretty good.
Do you think that I have a good amount? Or not enough or too much?
I think you have too not enough.
I have too
I think
much.
You have just the right amount.
I have
Just the right amount.
How do fiber crafts help me?
Wow. It ties up your brain so you can focus. Mm-hmm. So you knit everywhere we go, no matter what. Mm-hmm. So that it allows you not to, what's the word for it? Come unhinged.
Kill people?
That's it. That's what I was looking for, yeah. Yeah.
Keeps my murderous tendencies at bay. Okay, this next one we kind of already answered. How much money do you think I spend on yarn? Which, I mean...
20 skeins a month worth.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Can you explain the difference between knitting, crocheting, spinning, and weaving?
I can.
Okay. Go. Ready, set, go.
Oh, the question asked is can I? I can.
What is knitting? Like, what is it?
So knitting is needles. And you're looping. You're like...
Looping with needles?
Yeah, pretty much. It's what you do.
Okay.
So crocheting...
I think that needs to be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Looping with needles.
It's looping with needles. Crocheting, as I like to call crocheting.
Crocheting,
yeah,
okay.
Because that's how it's spelled.
It is.
It's a hook.
Yes.
And so you don't loop with needles, you hook with needles.
Yep.
Right?
Okay.
And then what was the other one?
Spinning.
Spinning is when you have a wheel and you have like the poofy fiber. Uh-huh. And you spin it around a wheel and it makes the fiber.
Makes the yarn?
The string.
String.
The yarn.
Okay. Got it. Then weaving.
Weaving is like it's.
I don't weave, so I'm interested to see
what your
like answer to this is.
It's like basket weaving, so you're weaving it over and under like that.
You are, yeah. I would love actually one day to get a loom. They make smallish ones that are like tabletop sized. And I think you can get a tabletop loom, a starter, 10 inches or 15 inches or something like that for a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make like scarves, and it makes a fabric versus, it makes like a basket weave fabric versus a interlocked fabric.
Right.
Like knitting is interlocked because each stitch is like connected to the stitch above and below
it's
it.
looped through it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I lost my place. Okay, how do you explain me being a knitter to other people?
I don't have to explain it. They see it.
No, if I wasn't there, like somebody at work, at your job that you've never met, or that I've never met, and that's never seen me.
You are a prolific knitter.
Okay.
And you're an indie yarn dyer, and people look at me funny, and I say,
indie yarn dyer.
Yeah, we have a studio. I don't tell them it's a garage, but it's a studio.
That's the nicest garage ever.
Yeah, that you dye yarn. You take blank yarn from the mill.
Yep.
There's a whole process. It's kind of like Breaking Bad, where you cook it up with citric acid and such.
Yep. There's acid and gas masks and
the whole thing.
Yep.
And dyes.
That's right.
And then you sell it.
And then I sell it. That's it, start to finish. That's it. That's great. Yeah.
I have good understanding.
So, what is something that you wish I did as much as I knit?
Boy, that's a trick question if I've ever heard one.
I actually wrote these down so long ago, I don't remember the questions.
What do I wish that you did as much as you knit?
Clean?
I don't know. I don't know what I wish you did as
Cook?
much as you knit. You cook a lot.
I do cook a lot.
I don't know.
That's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
Because it's hard for me to even think about, like, there's nothing that I wish I did more than knit.
Right.
But I don't feel like there's anything that it's like, well, this is always not getting done because I'm choosing to knit.
Right. I don't think there's an answer to that.
The only thing I could say is that maybe sometimes, like if we, like, hanging out more as a family, like putting that down and, but a lot of that isn't because I'm knitting, we're not doing it. It's because of our crazy schedules.
That's correct. So my answer is, I think that there's nothing I'd rather see you do as much as you knit.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm almost cold sitting underneath this vent.
Feels good.
It's pretty nice. If I died tomorrow, what would you do with my stash?
I would knit it into something beautiful.
You would learn to knit.
Yeah.
Just to remember me.
Just to knit a big, large
memory
sweater.
That would be the largest memory sweater ever. All the time. You would. In Texas. In the heat.
Doesn't matter. It's my memory sweater.
So what would you do?
You
can't get out of the question. Good try.
I'd bury it with you. I'd liquidate it. I mean, let's be honest. Because I don't have any. I know,
but like, who would you call? Like, how would you do that? Would you know how to?
I could sell it.
Cherie.
Yeah.
Okay, so does it embarrass you when I knit in public?
No.
Does it embarrass you when I knit around your family?
No.
Does anyone say anything about it behind my back?
All the time. Not anything negative. That's how a lot of people know you for that. And so they will say, "Oh, you're the guy married to the woman who knits," or they're like, "Where's your wife?" And
you're like,
that's the one that's knitting all the time. And we run into people a year after we last saw them, and they go, I remember you because
You're
did nothing but knit.
Yeah, that's true. That's a true story. People at baseball, because we kind of see people seasonally, or maybe we're on a team with them one year and then not the next year and then again at the year after. And I get that comment a lot. Oh, you're still knitting.
Yeah, still the same pair of socks a year later.
Well, that is sometimes true.
Yeah, that's true. Because you're an ADD knitter.
Because I'm a process knitter.
Yeah.
It's all full circle.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The roof is getting done next door. So if you hear like what do I knit the most of?
Socks.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking what I have knit the most of.
Are we talking about whips? Are we talking about
just what
FOs? I'm not supposed to speak the lingo?
It just cracks me up for you two.
Yeah.
Either. Like, what
FOs definitely socks.
You think yeah. FOs for sure. I mean, I've knit over 70 to 80 pairs of socks.
Yeah.
It's just kind of mind-blowing, actually.
It is. We've saved so much money on not buying socks.
No, we have not. Okay, this one says, why do you think I knit? Which we sort of already answered, but...
Because you like it. That's the way your brain works.
Yep. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, what would you say my crafting skill level is?
Another loaded question. What was the best one?
5.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about skill being equivalent or being in a correlative relationship to amount of stash and supplies for crafting,
5.5.
then it's a 7 or 8 out of 5.
Yeah.
How many subscribers do you think I have on YouTube?
5,000.
You just said that.
I got it.
Gosh.
I knew exact 5,003, I think, is the exact
that gets me
number.
I don't know.
But I'm thinking after this,
it'll be tens of thousands.
It'll be like 5,005.
Or it'll be 4,998.
Yeah. We'll lose some.
I'll know who to blame.
Don't go away.
Let's see. How many subscribers do you think I have on Instagram?
You have 10,000. How many subscribers do you have on Instagram? 7,000?
Nope.
6?
Nope.
More than that or less? Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. I'm sorry. She has 11.1 thousand.
11.1 as of today.
Yeah.
YouTube. Let's go to YouTube. Let's get an accurate number. That's so annoying.
5,012.
So I'm hoping don't go away.
I'm hoping that this pushes it to at least
5,020. I feel like there's a New Kids on the Block song that's just screaming in my brain right now. Please don't go, girl.
I don't know that song.
Because don't go away. Please.
I was too young for that.
Don't go, girl. Please don't go, girl. You would ruin my whole world.
This is why she knits, because if she doesn't knit, she does this.
I don't know. They don't see this.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched my podcast?
I have, usually only when you mention me.
And when I tell you to watch it, because, hey, I said something about you.
I've watched it before.
Yeah.
Our neighbor across the street watches it.
Let's see, do you have a favorite podcast that I watch? Or should we rephrase this to, can you name a podcast that I watch?
Oh, the Grocery Girls.
What?
What's her name? Why am I blanking on the names now?
I don't know.
Argentina.
Who else? Oh, yes. Hoagie
Locatelli.
So y'all are his favorites, just.
And then there's a Yarngasm.
Yep. Bull and Vine Yarns.
And
I'm impressed that you remembered that name.
Yeah.
Who else do I watch a lot? Little Bobbins, but I don't know that that's one that you would know.
No, I don't know.
The Knit Girls.
The Knit Girls, I've heard of them.
Yarn Hoarder.
I've heard of that.
Amber.
Okay. Yeah.
That's impressive.
I know.
If I knit you a sweater that was hideous, would you wear it?
Nope. I'd tell you to.
If I knit you a let's start with, if I knit you a sweater, would you wear it?
If you knit me a sweater, I'd look at you and ask you, why did you waste your time knitting me a sweater? It's Texas, and I'm insanely hot-natured.
Yes.
I will never wear the sweater. Don't even start. That's what I would tell you before you even got started.
This is why I barely knit sweaters for me.
This is the thing. If you ask me, these pants look good on me, what have I always told you?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Oh no, that is true. That's one of the clauses in our marriage.
Yeah.
The truth even when it's ugly.
Yeah.
Especially when it's ugly.
You have to.
Don't let me leave the closet looking ugly.
Yeah.
That's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
And ladies, be okay hearing that your man doesn't think you look good.
She told me that sometimes I look homeless yesterday.
Just yesterday, actually.
Yeah. On the baseball fields. A homeless baseball coach, I think is what you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry.
I need a sweater.
So no, you would wear no sweater of any kind. I know that about you, which is why I've never even asked or attempted to knit you a sweater.
Not even once.
Yep.
I'm not a tie it around my shoulders or waist guy.
Yep.
Don't do any of that.
What about a sweater vest?
I'd wear a sweater before I wear a sweater vest.
Okay, interesting.
I'm not a vest guy.
Do I need to go on a fiber diet? Like yarn diet?
No.
Not buying any yarn. That's what
Would
that
I
means.
like you to go on a yarn diet, or do you need to? You don't need to, but my stock answer is always going to be yes.
Yes.
Don't spend money.
Don't spend money.
Right. Yeah.
And the final answer, that maybe I don't even want you to tell the truth on this one. How much do you think my stash is worth? Diane Brown stash, not Suburban Stitcher business.
Do you know how much your stash is worth?
No clue.
Oh, well, then it doesn't really matter. $45,000. I don't know. Because if you don't know, then that's...
Man, we need to sell it and buy a new car.
I agree.
It's less than $45,000.
Somewhere between $1,000 and $45,000, maybe. Can we say that?
Let's say that.
Okay.
Let's shake on that answer.
All right. Got it.
Okay, so that's it for the official questions. And I feel like now that we've gone through those, I feel like maybe we need to introduce you since we didn't really do that.
All right.
So this is Josh.
It's me.
Mr. Stitcher.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the people what they need to hear about you?
What do they need to hear about me?
Whatever you would like to say. But why don't you talk a little bit about what you do? Let's see. Yeah, we have time.
Okay. All right, we got time. All right, I'll rush through it. All right.
Well, I mean, relatively speaking, we have time.
I serve as a director for a local agency here in town that works with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, women and children largely. And I run the special initiatives in the community education program. And so work with traumatic brain injury and other things, and so it's pretty cool work.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. And we are pretty fortunate because our kids are growing up and able to go to different things and help volunteer and see. They're growing up seeing that this is how some people, unfortunately, what they have to experience, and that they're very lucky to not be in that situation.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yep. So that's what you do. Also, like that job / semi-pro first base coach.
Third base coach.
Third base.
You've seen enough baseball.
Yep.
Yeah, and I coach a lot of youth sports, baseball, basketball. I mean, even soccer. I'm not a big soccer.
Yeah, I am going to throw in there that we're joking about the semi-pro part. He only coaches teams that our children are on.
Right.
He's not like the creeper volunteer
Yeah.
for other things that our children are not involved in.
Yeah.
Just going to throw that out there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm not a creeper.
He's not a creeper. Anything else that you feel like we need to add?
No, this is your show.
I mean...
Is that what you call it, a show? Or
Sure.
a podcast?
Podcast. Video.
Are we gonna,
vlog.
We're going to tweet this?
I don't tweet. I'm not a Twitter tweeter.
Reddit it? I don't know what the kids are doing nowadays.
So that's the thing is I hear the word Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I listen to podcasts and they're like, oh my gosh, I was on Reddit all night last night. Yeah. I'm like...
I think it's just like a listserv type thing.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I don't know for sure.
I'm sure we'll hear about it.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching, and thank you for being a really good sport and answering these questions with me.
This is something.
It's something, all right.
Yeah.
Bye. He's not going to say bye, apparently.
Bye. I didn't realize we were still rolling. It's all right.
It's the little dot that's blinking.
Is it red?
It's red.
See how I brought it around?
Bye. Okay, so...
Is this going to go on the blooper reel?
Maybe. So, right now, if you stare at the screen, then on the camera, it looks like you're staring at the screen.
I know how cameras work.
Okay, good.
I've done it before.
Okay, good. Well, because if you do it wrong, then I'm going to get lots of hate mail.
I minored in radio and television in college. I get how it works.
Fun fact. That's very fancy. You can just delete a call from the screen on your wrist.
I'm going to stare at the screen the whole time.
Please don't email me about that. Okay, that's what you have to do on this camera. You have to tape in segments and then splice it all together.
I see.
So you can like
I won't do any of
vocal modulations.
No, because you'll put that on the thing still.